My manager is my queen, my baby is my wife. Au sio? Rada inaweza kubadilika bana. Mimi kama rada yangu imebadilika, rada kila mtu inaweza kubadilika. I was still struggling with a lot of things, including my house rent, which was 4,000 that time. Yeah, man. I think I've been trying to run away from, or just avoid talking about much about my life as I was growing up. Then at least once in a while, I'll go back to it. I think I mentioned somewhere that for me it was just me figuring out how to live my life by myself. That's to say that most of the things that how I grew up, or most of the things that I did, not like the normal kind of life that children go through when they are raised. So at some point I had to live on the streets. At some point I had to live in the cell for like a month or two. At some point I had to go to the approved school. And then later lived with my mom for a few years, like 4 years. Then I went back again to figure out how to live as a man. Even when I was a kid, I used to sing. We used to do music festivals. Traditional like drumming and all those things. So it's something I have loved doing since I was a child, since I was a kid. Yeah. No, I didn't always want to do gospel. When I started singing, I actually used to sing like love songs. I don't even remember anything. But then gospel now happened for me because growing up, I got to a place where now I came to know about God and decided to get born again. So then by the time I started singing, I had gotten born again. So I only had the option to sing for God. So that's how I started singing gospel. I wouldn't say, but I think at that time it was a bit open, in the sense that you would only need to have a good song and a good music video to get into the industry or to get airplay. But then now the problem was getting the song, because where us guys were at that time, we could not afford a session, studio session to record an audio and even to get a video. So then you would know that you are talented and you'd have written songs, but then since you can't afford a studio, then you'll not be able to get into the industry. But for me, I think a few guys came through for me to support me. One of them being DK. That's why he's a guy I respect a lot. He actually took me to studio from school. I was when I did my first song, I was in Form 3. So he took me from school at 4 during games time, took me to studio, paid for my studio session, then I went back to school. So that's how I came into the industry myself. So I would say it was a bit open. The only problem was for you to be able to get a song. I think it took like 5 years when I had my first hit, but it wasn't as big, but it was just a song that introduced me to a few people in the industry that time. Then after that, I had another a bit bigger than the first one 5 years after that one. Then now, how many years after? Because that Leo was, I think, like 2014, 2013, thereabout. So then my biggest hit, which is Nadeka, I got it in 2017. you will never be able to skip the process. You can't skip the process. You will still come back to it. If you use shortcuts, you will still come back to the process. You can't run away from it. So then I will just advise people to allow themselves to go through the process, and these things take time. I've been here for more than 10 years now, and I started making something out of my music just a few years ago. So then if I was to give up, I wouldn't have been able to reach where I am today. So then it's just for you to allow yourself to go through it, to whatever it is that you experience. At some time you'll have some people refuse to record your songs. You'll have people call you for gigs and they refuse to pay you. You go through a lot of things. You go to places where they will not even allow you to showcase your talent. Those are the things people go through. But at the end of it, if you are consistent and persistent, and you have a passion for what it is that you have, no one cannot make it. Everyone can. I never let it get into my head. And that's why I think it helps me also to respect the people around me, especially my wife. Not just to understand that I'm not a celebrity in my house. I am a man. I am a husband. So it helps me to relate with the people around me, just to not let it get into my head that I'm a famous guy or I'm a celebrity. I'm just a human being like any other person. How I got into creating this is looking at the trends of life in the industry. God gives us grace for a certain period of time, so that you'll be the biggest artist for a while. Then those people who came before me are not there anymore. Not that they are forgotten, but they don't do what I'm doing now. A few years later, I will not be the in thing. Someone else will be. You understand? So then we just looked at what happens when you get to that point. And you've seen people struggle out here. You've seen people get into depression because they were big sometime, and now they are not big anymore when they have nothing in their pockets and they're struggling with their lives. So that is just what we wanted to avoid in our lives, so that 10 years from now, when I'm not singing anymore, I will still be stable, and I would have other people working. So then it is, for me, it is just for it to be able to sustain my career, and for it to be able to sustain my space in music, so that when you don't want to hear my song, a song that I've sung, then you'll be able to hear someone else who has recorded under my label. So then I will be able to live on for a while in the industry. I am signed under the label, and we have one more artist called DJ Kez, so just the two of us. My manager is my queen, my babies, my wife. I think our business is just special, because then we are able to have our monies around ourselves. We have everything around, and also another reason is not even because when I say we have our money around ourselves, then it looks a bit selfish. But then the point for me to work with her is because she bought into the vision, you understand, and she has made the vision look like something that she wants to, something that she's part of, you understand. So in most cases, when you employ people from outside, them they are working. So then when things go down, they will move on to the next artist or to someone else who's doing better. We disagree a lot. We disagree a lot about many things, because since I've been doing this for a while, there's a way that I think things should be done, And there's also a way that she thinks things can be done differently from what I have been doing. So at that time, we will have some, disagreements here and there. But then by the end of the day, we get to agree and realize that, we are doing this thing out of love. So then all of us are doing it for, for the good of, having the empire built. Yeah. This is an achievement in my career. Also, since my marriage is still comes in through my music, it is a huge one. That through one of the songs that I did, I was able to get a partner. My God, and I've been able to build a few things through my music. I've been able to get a home, through the music, and get somewhere that when I stop singing my music, I'll go there and look at my two chicken and a few things in my home and say, this was built from music. And also one that I can not forget is the fact that people have reached out to me to tell me what my music has done to them, and how my music has transformed their lives, and how some of them have gotten even born again through just listening to my music. It is an achievement. Hakuna jambo linalo kushinda wewe, unaweza mwana wa Mungu, hey, unaweza ulivo leo, hiyo ni ya leo, wenda kesho hiyo rada ibadilike. Matatizo ulonayo, hizo shida ulonazo ni za leo, wenda kesho hiyo rada ibadilike, wenda kesho hiyo rada ibadilike, yeah. Oh yeah, wenda kesho hiyo rada ibadilike.